So we haven't even been out and the starter motor's pretty much given up the ghost. We've changed over the plugs and now we're stripping and rebuilding a starter motor because no one's got any spares for cars. So basically one of these, this terminal here, was seized, so it wasn't forcing out and sitting on the motor itself. So John's done one driving run today and we're now just into lunchtime. So that seems to have solved the starter motor issue. It's still a little bit sticky here and there, but it actually runs and turns over quite nicely now. So Smithy's just coming in from his first actual session out, so we'll see what the tyre's like and what he thinks of the car.
Yeah.
So how did it go?
I'm fairly pleased, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it was good, but we've not really had a chance to get it good. So it's not trying to kill me, that's a good start.
And the grip?
The grip is, I'm really gripping into the first corner. I'm just closing up on everyone on the entry. I think everyone's going super timid, but then when everyone's going and getting third, well, I only really had one run properly with someone, but they just launched. And I didn't do that launch, but I think if I can...
Well, so they were just pulling lengths on you?
Yeah, well, yeah, but it's because I didn't like do a massive smash into gear, and I was quite tentative through the chicane on that particular run.
Right.
But then I got more confident on the next run that someone spanned, so I didn't get a chance to do that like pull. But yeah, I don't, for whatever reason, into the first corner they all feel really slow, and I'm like chucking up on the inside, and that's with me in the chase. And I'm trying to hang back because I just want to do my own run for the time being. And even then I find I'm getting like well up into what I would call the danger zone sort of thing. So I'm like, no, I'm just pretending like they're there when they're not. So, you could definitely get closer, but that's not what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, no, of course. Yeah. So yesterday we ran the soft setup, which is the soft tyres, and we ran the anti-roll bar on fully soft with about 30 psi in the tyres to run. Today it's a lot drier, as you can see from the sun. We're expecting the track to dry out up until about 1 or 2 o'clock. So we're going to be running the hard compound tyres, and I think about 30 psi in the tyres as well. See how he runs, and then we may move over to stiffening up the rear anti-roll bar as well. But everything went well in the afternoon yesterday. He got a little bit wet, and we've done a cracking job of the roof itself. But we're out for I think there's 2 and a bit hours of practice today, because it's just the pros. So hopefully we'll dial the car in, get the grip looking right. I know conditions are changing constantly, but hopefully you can drive over any small changes. So no issues yesterday whatsoever. The fuel issue that we've had a couple of times seems to actually be like low fuel level problems. It doesn't really make any sense, because there was enough fuel in the tank to supply the surge tank, which then shouldn't starve, but it is. So radium surge tank, not really sure why we're starving, but we are. So just keep the tank topped up and we don't have that issue at all. Other than that, starter motor seems to be fine. Still a bit sticky, as in it throws out the solenoid but won't spin because it hasn't engaged correctly. We will get a new one and we'll keep this one as a spare. Now it's been partially repaired. But other than that, it seems to be going well. I'm just about to pull the data log off the ECU, so we get a clear today, like clear log as such for today. And I'll probably put it off after practice as well.
Ready? Go!
Back in the pits, he basically has got a misfire. We've taken the rocker covers off and it's not thrown a rocker. We've done a compression test now and they're all at 180 and 190. Terry's just checking the injectors to make sure they're all roughly the same. So it should be around 3 amps, something like that. 3.2. Yeah, 3.2. We're just going to check all them and then we're going to start looking, making sure the spark and everything's good. It could just be a lead that's come off, but I want to double check everything and make sure it's all good. So I've checked over the data log and we're only monitoring these things, so there isn't enough data there to show anything. Well, there should be if it was one of those things, but it's none of those things, so we've got no data on the log. We may start it up if it's still doing it and just do a data log with everything logging.
An interesting looking car. I think it looks really struggling to keep the car on the correct line. Lots of how many steering.
Well, just got back into the pits. Smithy did a 50.4 or 50.3. I'll put the run up now. But second run didn't turn out so great. Went backwards into a tyre wall. What have you got to say for yourself?
Full send. Tried it.
Everything else seems to be alright with the car now. No issues from the previous misfire. But unfortunately it's only top 24 and we ended up at 28, I think. Right, John, so the first run went pretty well. What are we saying?
Yeah, it was alright. It was, well, I had one practice lap, which wasn't even really a practice lap because it was wet and patchy and wasn't sure what to do. So, yeah, I mean, I'm fairly happy. Yeah, it's just a shame. It's one of them things when you didn't get any more laps. It is what it is. But yeah, I think the car's going to be alright. We just need a little bit more power so we can get third comfortably because I'm having to really use momentum and just wobble the car to get third, which is difficult, especially when you're being judged. It's alright if you just
yeah, well, they're saying the steering input is why you're a bit scrappy anyway, so it's, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, so there's probably two things there. You've got the Wise Fab, which is I've never used properly. I mean, we've used it in the car park, but it don't really count. And then that's super quick. And then trying to get the car to go where I want it to without much wheel speed is difficult. So hopefully, I think the nitrous will be the golden ticket there. I think just that 100 brake, I say just, but you know, and maybe a bit more than that in torque. I think that's going to make a difference.
We were only making about 60 horsepower on the dyno though.
Yeah, but it was all fueling wrong, so.
Well, yeah.
Let me rephrase, a genuine 100 horsepower of nitrous, I think will make the difference. I think we've got a bit of a debate because I think more grip was needed. Which I know sounds counterproductive, but I think it would have helped carry the speed through the corner to give me more of a chance. But because we literally didn't have zero practice, basically, we haven't got a clue. So
Terry thinks that more pressure in the tyres would obviously be able to get in more wheel speed, so it was just easier to get into third, I assume. Yeah.
And the reason, so it will be easier to get into third, definitely. But I think the problem I'm having is when you do the transition. I'm off throttle for longer, waiting for it to grip, so that I can get the back line to come back round again to try and go again. I think with more grip to get it to squat and pull a bit, I'll come out with more speed, and then I can throw a bit more angle on with more speed, and then it will go. And the only reason I'm saying that is actually the last time we was here, but a different layout and donkeys years ago, we went from struggling to get round, more and more pressures, wasn't happening, dropped it right out the next day, just as a practice session, just to see how it went.
And you gain.
And it made the difference.
Yeah,
but,
definitely.
I mean, we just don't know, that's the thing. So I think it went as well as it could have. We learnt a lot.
Once we get that nitrous sorted out, then I think we'll give it another go. I mean, I still think inlet manifold, throttle body as a minimum, and then I'm thinking maybe just bin all that off and go for supercharger.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I mean,
because then it'll be cheers. Because then it's going to be a true 600-ish flywheel horsepower, a good 500 at 5 to 550 at the wheels all the time. No nitrous, no nothing. I mean, potentially run it on ethanol, which would, you know, and we'll just keep the boost down so we make 550 at the wheels.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm not against the idea, but I like the idea that the nitrous is there and sort of done, and it's we can just get a feel, because it might be when you start dialing the grip in, maybe that's not enough, and then I don't really want to go down the realms of like a fully built motor yet. So then
but 600 is going to be enough.
Well,
if 350 at the wheels is just under net what you need now, another 50-60 horsepower is probably what you need to get third. You're still under 400 wheel horsepower. Well, no, you're probably
you're
450.
If you're talking about 600, you're going to be on the limit of what everyone says is the limit of those.
Yeah.
So.
But is that because that piston ring clearances and stuff like that? Because we'll be running ethanol, so it'll be cooler, or is it just rods or pistons? Yeah.
Don't know. But So I don't know. I mean, overall, it's been good. We've learned a lot. There was a lot of seat time available. It's not.
We just had that misfire that obviously we 100% needed to check out.
And it cost us an hour and a half at least, didn't it? Which is a shame.
Yeah.
One of them things. And then the days prior, the weather just made it an irrelevant.
Too wet.
you know, is what it is.
But it has brightened up quite nicely now.
Yeah, it's actually a lovely day, so we might go and watch the good skidding.
Alright, well thanks very much, Don. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos, subscribe, hit that bell and get the notifications. You can also check us out on Facebook, the link's going to be in the description. Thanks for watching and we'll see you soon.